come crashing into your life unannounced, like a rogue wave onto the shore.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Her versatile elemental skill lets her travel on water and boosts her attacks by charging them up through collisions with enemies. When energy is full, Mualani fires off a super shark missile, and she and Sharky ride the tide to victory.
Welcome Genshin F2Ps and Swipeys, it's your boy Josh, and today we're going to be talking about two things. We're going to be talking about first, the Mualani character showcase, as well as we're going to be talking about the other 5 stars that are associated with 5.0, the free 5-star selector of the standard banner. So yes, we are going to be going through two things today, so this is going to be a jam-packed video. Make sure you guys like the video, and if you guys want to keep up with more Genshin Impact content, please subscribe. Please, we're trying to hit 20K by the end of September. That would be a huge goal, and you can make that happen. So please join us. But without further ado, let's jump into Mualani's character skills showcase. Now, we're going to be able to show you guys quite a bit here and kind of delve a little bit into her kit, as actually they've talked about a little bit more than I thought they would than just showing us her kit. They actually talk about, in particular, one of her biggest gimmicks, the Nightsoul Blessing. But hey, it's Bozetta Josh here, and I just want to let you know that we are running a $100 Mualani poll session giveaway for our Mega Natlan Marathon, hosted over on Twitch. But that doesn't mean you can't get involved. Yes, this is going to be a joint YouTube and Twitch giveaway where I like to blend both two communities together. So make sure you guys are commented down below in the comments of all of our Natlan content videos, including this one. We have another video talking about 5 actionable things that you can start preparing for to get ready for Natlan even before the region comes out. So go watch that video here on YouTube specifically. Join in the comments and subscribe. And with that, let's get you back to the video. So firstly, let's go through what they describe her kit, or what they summarize. Honestly, they probably just put this in the chat GPT, but here we go. With unleashing Mualani's elemental skill, she'll enter a Nightsoul Blessing state and use her surfboard to move swiftly using the Nightsoul points until they're depleted. During this period, if Mualani collides with enemies, she'll apply a mark and gain special energy recharge to increase the damage of her normal attacks against marked enemies. So she has a little bit of energy recharge scaling. She has a little bit of HP scaling, which most of her abilities are at base scaled with HP. She has somewhat of an enhanced normal attack when she is on her shark surfboard. Especially with a lot of these Natlan 5-star characters, the Nightsoul Blessing mechanic or gimmick, it really brings out some very, very strong and very impactful, you know, buffs to these characters that make them really stand out amongst the cast of Genshin characters. Of course, she tosses her little pufferfish, and it's the absolute cutest because she does like a little peace sign after. Oh my god. Okay, if you aren't pulling Mualani for that alone, that honestly, that's like 80% of us. But you can do a charge attack that will consume a certain amount of stamina. Honestly, you are not one to use this at all. As you can see, she does a little jump here. Let's show her right there, and then she, jumps into the air, and then she launches down with the little AoE. Personally, as far as her kit is involved, it does not involve the charge attack at all, nor does the plunge attack. It's really about her skill and how she's able to weave in those different types of shark, surfing dash attacks, and then be able to generate a lot more, energy for herself, thus being able to ult. So let's get to her bread and butter, the Surf Shark Wave Breaker. With this ability, you're going to enter into the Nightsoul Blessing state. Now, again, each Natlan character, their special ability or their special state is called the Nightsoul Blessing state. So they're going to switch into this like new mode whereby they can actually, do just a whole new set of attacks. For Mualani, that manifests itself when she goes into the Surf Shark. For Kinich, which we'll talk about in a little bit, that's when he goes into that weird like lasso, grapple state, and then he's able to zip to and fro and around enemies. That's his Nightsoul Blessing state. And then for Kachina, her Nightsoul Blessing state is when she is on the little drill thing. So for what other characters, what would that look like? We'll have to see. But for those three in particular, and in our case with Mualani, let's go a little bit further into what she can do in the Nightsoul Blessing state. Mualani can move on water and liquid phlogiston. I can't get that name right. Phlogiston, which is the lava. And while in the state is active, if she'll take no damage from the latter. Most people will take damage from lava. She will not. So when Mualani comes into contact with opponents, which she will at most be able to do 5 enemies, which for the most part, there are no more than 5 enemies in the game, to be honest. So, it's not that big of a deal. But as so far as, Mualani's concerned, you only have the maximum of 5 targetable opponents, yet you only need 3 to get the maximum of 3 wave momentum stacks. Now, these momentum stacks will basically, allow her to charge up energy recharge a little bit faster, and then this scales off of HP. So these attacks, in terms of this dash attack, you will need HP. Now, is it an instance of, oh, let's just go full Nilu triple HP? Not necessarily. You will want HP in the sand slot, hydro in the goblet, and then most likely crit depending on if you get the weapon or not. If you do get the weapon and you somehow also run her a little bit more offensively, let's move on to the other parts of her skill, mainly the Boom Shakalaka. Now, the Boom Shakalaka is, the basically end all be all. Very much in the same breath as like a Mona, right? Basically, she tosses out her E skill, and then all you need to do is set up for that big burst of hers. Well, Mualani is that 2.0 and a lot more involved and a lot cuter because she has a super shark, and she also gets to toss a shark tornado torpedo thing, which is super cool. And honestly, one of the coolest animations. Look at that. She launches the shark, and the shark does a little like pattern. It doesn't just like launch straight ahead. It does like a little animation into the AoE, which is amazing. Let's continue on with these Nightsoul talent passes. When she uses the shark bite attack, which is her E skill, the damage dealt increases based on your wave momentum stacks. Max, remember we mentioned before, max 3 stacks. Sharky's Bite will be converted to Sharky Surge Bite, further increasing her damage and removing all the stacks when hitting opponents. So when she has 3 stacks, she'll be able to do essentially an enhanced attack when she's in the Nightsoul state. When Sharky's Bite hits an opponent marked as prey, that mark will be removed and she will fire shark missiles at up to 5 nearby opponents. Marked as prey damage dealt to them equal to this shark bite instance and clearing their marks. If more than one opponent is the target of Sharky's Bite and shark missiles, the damage dealt will decrease at most to 72% of the original damage when 3 opponents are targeted, meaning just, it just splashes of AoE. All intents and purposes, her goal is to basically splash the opponents with a ton of water, weave in and out, get that energy recharge, build up her burst super fast, and then boom shakalaka. And then this is where it gets a little bit interesting for Mualani. And like I said before, Mualani really likes to work with the Nightsoul Blessing. What we are going to mention next is the Nightsoul Burst. So what a Nightsoul Burst is, it's just basically a burst. So whenever your other teammates trigger their burst attack, it will trigger a Nightsoul Burst. I believe they do need to be in the Nightsoul Blessing state in order to be counted as a Nightsoul Burst. I will correct myself if that is wrong, but that is so far as what I've gone and what I've gathered. So when you're in the Nightsoul Blessing state and you use your burst attack, that counts as a Nightsoul Burst. So Mualani will create an extra separate stack called the Wave Chaser exploit, and with 3 stacks of these, she will increase the Boom Shakalaka damage by up to 45% of her max HP. Pretty pog. For as Mualani's concerned, she doesn't necessarily have a particular team like Kinich. Kinich does, I believe, burn and burgeoning, or he is involved in burn and burgeoning as far as I'm aware. Whereas Mualani is a lot more flexible with her abilities. Yet she also does want more natlan characters, natlan oriented characters around her. So where does this put Mualani's value, right? Where does this really, put her amongst the 5.0 characters that are available? I'll be honest. And that's just because her kit is a little bit flexible, yet covers, the niches that we already have in the game. She doesn't necessarily bring anything new. So far as what she provides, doesn't provide any new niche until later down the road when we actually get to see more natlan characters, unfortunately. But let's immediately go to Kinich, and unfortunately there's no official footage of Kinich right now, so I won't be able to show you that. I'll probably overlay some, trailer footage for you guys as so far as Kinich. But from what we've been able to gather officially, he is, of course, a Dendro character. He is a Claymore Dendro character, but Kinich comes to us as another on-field damage-dealing character, much like Mualani. Yet, Kinich is definitely more built for damage. He's not a sub-DPS character at all. He is definitely wanting to be on-field to be effective. And as you guys have seen in the promotions, he's able to use the grapple to just whip air and just like pull himself twice, which is really cool. That also depends on his Nightsoul Blessing meter. If you don't have the meter full or enough points, then you'll only be able to do one grapple. But when you latch onto your enemies, you're actually able to dash around them using the grapple and circle around them even, and able to inflict them with normal attacks. Unfortunately, much like Mualani, his attacks actually don't scale with normal attack, they scale with the E skill. So when it comes to building these two characters, I might even mention the Golden Troop as a possible substitute for those two. But let's be honest, the two Natland new artifacts are just going to be the go-tos. They're just by far none. A 40 crit rate for 8 seconds, and that can refresh whenever you get into the Nightsoul state. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Like, it's just way too good to pass up. As far as the information that we have right now, you most likely will want to be pairing those types of characters together. One character that I love lately is Emily. A lot of people, I know only like, what was it, like a handful of people pulled Emily. I think it was like, I don't know if it was like a global Hoyo Labs count percentage, but it was like only like a couple thousand people picked up Emily, and it's a little depresso. But guess who Kinich's one of his best Dendro duo pairings is? It's Emily. Of course, we have to talk about the other highlighted 5 stars of Natlan, and that is the Standard Banner cast. The 7 Standard Banner characters, and maybe a hopeful 8th added soon. I'm not terribly sure. I don't know what plans there are for Natlan, but let's take a look at these 7 characters here, because these will be the only 7 available in the selector. So we have a simple yet effective 5-star selector choice tree for you guys. Okay, we're gonna meme it up a little bit here, but it's a great little questionnaire to kind of help you guys go through, do you want this character or do you not want this character, and then we'll kind of go through the hierarchy there. So question number 1, do you need a healer for Farina? And for most folks, you guys know where this is going. Farina has been such a meta-defining unit and has been able to really highlight a lot of healers. So, in particular, if you would like a healer for Farina, pick up Jean. If you don't have Jean, definitely pick up Jean. And regardless, Jean is one of the most versatile units in the game as a support character, right? She has Viridescent in her back pocket. She's able to heal off of attack. She's able to run Sunfire with Bennett. Wow. She has just really reinvented herself with different combos and pairings. Let's keep going. Do you need a meta unit? Do you want somebody who is going to give you high impact out the box? And that character is going to be Tignari. Tignari is crazy good, and because of his fast Dendro application, you're able to get off things like Spread Aggravates, and even to some extent, it's not great, but Hyper Bloom. So, if not, do you want a good Natlan character and you don't have Farina? Just because I understand that not everybody had the opportunity to grab one of the best characters in the game. I didn't make a lot of Genshin content oriented around Fontaine, and to be honest, that's to my detriment. I should have made so much more. I was doing a lot of streaming still, but now I'm really coming into creating and sharing my opinions on YouTube, which I'm so grateful for you guys listening in. But now, let's go into question 3. If you guys don't have Farina, we're definitely picking up Mona. Now, I didn't have a picture of Mona. I don't know why I didn't have a picture of Mona, but just you guys can imagine it, okay? Just imagine a nice round fluffy pink peach. Okay, so there's Monas, and if you want a Hydro off-field application character that isn't Kokomi and that isn't Farina, then you're gonna pick up Mona. She is really solid, and as a beginning unit, honestly, really good. So go pick up Mona, your third priority. If not, do you want a main DPS character? A lot of people tend to struggle sometimes, even if they have some of the better supports in the game, even though, you know, let's say a Bennett, Shincho, Xiangling, and, you know, Sucrose and whatnot can run circles around the content. Some people do need a front-carrying, frontline DPS character. So if that is the case, then go for your Dilucs and or your Kachings. Diluc right now has reinvented himself with the introduction to Plunge Gaming. And not too many people have this character, but Shen Yun has really brought out some of the best of Claymore characters, in particular with, you know, say a Gaming or Diluc. Diluc being able to infuse his attacks with fire, and then thus being able to plunge with some pretty big nasty fire damage multipliers. And then we get to Kaching. Kaching is the poor man's Clorend. For those who joined in Fontaine, you guys know how strong and how versatile Clorend can be. Kaching was the 1.0 version, right? She's the OG. She works very well with Spread Aggravate. She works relatively okay with Overload, whereas Clorend just excels in Overload. And then you have things like Hyperbloom that you could flex into. You have things you know, like Superconduct, where you can actually go into a pseudo physical DPS with Kaching. She can be versatile in that aspect, but she's definitely not the best in any of those situations. But if you do want a fast electric character and a cosplaying cat, you have Kaching to go to. Then your fifth point. Oh, do you want Mavuika at home? If you want Mavuika at home, of course, you're going to have to say yes to Dia. Dia is absolutely a bombshell of a character, and it is just atrocious how they didn't have her kit scale with attack, and they had split scaling. But c'est la vie, you know, she is still going to be a really solid character, and as a character who has a very unique role in the game currently as a tank character, being able to mitigate damage for your other characters, this really helps in the vein of your Burn Burgeon teams. But that is Dia, and again, if you want Mavuika at home, if you're going to pull for Mavuika, there is no reason to get Dia at all whatsoever. And that's not to say that they do the same things, but now on to question number 5. Are you coping to justify your 55-45 loss because it was just that bad and now you want C6 Chi-Chi to punish yourself? Okay, I understand. You know, masochism is, you know, that's why it exists in this world. I understand, and I hope the healing process is good for you, because you'll actually want to just get Jean in that instance, okay? And that will about wrap it up for the 5-star selector. Just note that with a lot of these characters, their value is very much diluted just because there are so many more characters, you know, that do their roles a little bit better and or that fulfill the need of that niche. Now, with talking about the 5-star limited characters of Natlan in Kinich and Mualani, and of course the 5-star standard selector characters, who are you guys picking up? Let me know down in the comments. And of course, every Natlan video that we are coming out with this video, I came out with a previous video talking about 5 things that you can start preparing for Natlan right now, actually. Go check out that video right after this. I'm going to be running a $100 giveaway if you guys subscribe and comment down below. What are you guys waiting for? We'll see you guys down in the comments. And of course, make sure to join the Twitch live streams at twitch.tv/jshua, where we make majority of our content. Well, this content is offline, but hey, our other content generally is online. We run a bunch of collabs and stuff. Go click on this next video right now to see what we got cooking up. YouTube thinks you'll like it, huh? Go watch it. You got time. Go watch it. You're preparing for Natlan. You know, maybe you play Zenless Zone Zero. Go watch it. Go watch it, okay? We'll see you guys there.